show you how to replace a cartridge in an Esperia basin mixer for plumbers as well as for anyone at home. Obviously turn your water off first. If the cartridge, if it's leaking out of the top of the handle here, you may turn around, still turn the water off. You might not need to change the cartridge because it could be that the nut in here is loose, and after you've used it for 6 months or something like that, the nut's just loosened off just a little bit, or the water pressure has got to it, and so it's just leaking a little bit. So you might be able to just tighten the nut without it happening. If it's dripping out of the tap, well, you're definitely having trouble with the cartridge, so you'd have to replace it. It's either been scored or something's gone with the cartridge. So the way to do it is to grab your Allen key and undo the back. There's a little grub screw. You're going to undo the handle and you pull the handle off, and then you see that it's got this prism here that's holding the cartridge in, that you can see here, and this has got a little space in it here that you turn around and you can put a knife and you can flick it, and you flick it up and it'll come off. See, it's held by 2 tabs, and then what you see is you see this. So this is the cartridge and obviously the nut. Now, this is a very flat nut, and we found that this is where some people can run into trouble. So you can use some pointy nose pliers and you can get between the nut, and you can do it this way and you can unscrew it. There's also, you can go and grab a spanner and a socket. The socket has to be flat, so we've found the best thing for you to do is to actually go and get a flat socket set, or you can also use a spark plug spanner. So for the larger spark plugs that you have, like out of your car, your spark plug spanner will work as long as it's flat on the bottom. So you can put it in and just give it a twist. Obviously this is really tight because it's turn around, it's not into a bench, and undo the nut. So you can undo the nut all the way. And that's why you can use these pointy nose pliers to get them out as well. If you'd like to use those, you just have to use a bit more downward force. And this is a brand new mixer tap, so obviously everything's very well sealed. So once you have this nut loose, like it is there now, what you need to do is grab your pointy nose pair of pliers, and without obviously jamming it up and ruining the paintwork, just pull it straight out. So as you can see on the bottom of it, it has, on the cartridge, it has this little rubber. It's blue, sometimes it's red. We use 2 different cartridges, and what you'll find is that sometimes if this has been in work for a long time, it will leave that blue rubber in onto the face of the tap down there. So you make sure that rubber, you grab your finger and pull that rubber out, obviously, because if you're going to put a new cartridge in, it's going to leak. So you can see 2 isolation tabs, or 2 tabs on either side of the cartridge. So if we're going to put a new cartridge in now, and we've just got this one, we can turn around and line up. What we do is we've got to line up those 2 little knobs there, and we've got to line it up with those 2 little holes, which is pretty easy to do. So what we do is just line them up, make sure it's in there and it's lined up. You'll know straight away if it's not lined up because the whole thing will keep turning. So what you want to do is you've got to turn around and keep it, see it's stopped moving there, and so it's definitely lined up. So then just turn around, grab your nut, make sure you put your nut on the right way, because I just put it on back to front. And then what you can do is you can turn around and grab your spanner, put your spanner on, or you can get your pointy nose pliers, and obviously tighten it up quite tight, and you've just fixed your problem. So what you do is grab your cover plate again, and you'll find the 2 isolation holes there. So you'll make sure it's there and it clicks in, and then all we've got left to do is turn around, put the handle back on, because it's got obviously a little hole there that goes with inside. and grab your Allen key, tighten the handle up, and your job's complete.